I'm standing near the top elevation point of my property. Not quite the top. I've probably got another 60 or 70 feet that I could climb this way. But where I'm standing right now, I'm 85 feet above where my home site is, my power, and my well is. And in this video, I wanted to show you guys my high ground water station, and I wanted to talk a little bit about why you might want to consider putting water high above ground in an off-grid situation like I'm in. Okay, so these tanks are 4,500 liters each when they're totally full, and I've got 4 of them, so that gives me 18,000 liters above, 85 feet above my main site. So we've got a well, a deep well. It's 378 feet. I've got a static level of water at 104 feet. My pump is down at 340 feet. And we've been pumping this well for a while now, and so far we haven't hit any capacity. It seems to be producing really good. And I've set these tanks up on the high ground here for 3 primary reasons. And the first and most important reason is a redundancy. So if there was an event where my power went down for some reason, now we are off grid, we're mostly solar powered here, and so for some reason I had some power issues and it was in the middle of summer and I needed to water my gardens, I have about 5 or 6 days of water for my gardens here, according to my calculations, in the summer. That I wouldn't need that much water each day all year round, of course, but in maybe the 2 months of the hottest time of the year, I would. So I've built a redundancy. So I have water without electricity if I need it. The second reason is it's decentralized. So what I've also done here is I've put water in a second location 360 or 350 linear feet away from the well site. So I've got, it's actually maybe a little bit less. I've got about 350 foot of pipe, prime 100, 1¼ inch to come up here. The line can hold 100 PSI, which is more than adequate. And so I've got water in a second location, which is good because if we had a fire, I now have water up here on this side of the property and I have water down there on another side of the property. So I've decentralized it in a bit because I can pump water from the well and I could pump water and pull water from here. And the third reason is that by having this connected to my well system, I could also radically increase my flow rate by turning on any on-off valve that's connected to this line and running my well at the same time. That would allow me to radically increase my flow and my pressure because I've got about 37 PSI pushing down here. I think it's around 7 or 8 gallons a minute. We have yet to figure that out for sure, but I've got 9 gallons a minute coming from the well. So I would be able to move a lot of water because I have water coming in from 2 places. So those are the main 3 reasons that you'd want to do it. But a big part of my motivation with this was to really look after my fire security. We are in fire country here. These forests are predominantly Douglas fir. They're meant to burn every now and then, and every now and then meaning probably a 100-year cycle or more. So fire is, an inevitability in this kind of country. So this kind of system is going to allow me to not only have a decentralized and redundant system for water in my gardens, but also delivering water quickly to anywhere on the property. Anywhere that I tap off on this line and I can send water to. And the great thing about my property is it's kind of this big piece of pie going up. So this line goes right down the middle of my property in the long way. So if I extend this line down further, I can essentially deliver water very quickly to anywhere on my property. And so that's the main motivation behind it. And I'll just explain to you a little bit about how this system works, and we'll leave it there. So these 4 tanks are essentially one because they're all coupled together with 2-inch PVC. And the way it works is water comes up from which will eventually be the pressure tanks in my house. But right now we're just going directly from the well because the house isn't finished. But let's just say, for all intents and purposes, this is coming from the pressure tanks of my house, which will hold a certain amount of PSI, maybe 60 PSI max or something like that. So whenever this needs water, it'll sense a drop in PSI and automatically start shooting water up this line. So the water comes up, and the only way to get into these tanks is through this line, because there's a check valve here that only allows water to come out, not in. So when the water comes in, it reaches a dead end there and it pushes up here. And inside of here, this is so the water can only come into the 4 tanks through here. And inside of here, I have a really simple flush valve. It's very similar to what you'd have in a toilet. So there's a little flush valve here, and when that goes up, it closes a valve in there. Very simple. So water can only come up here, and as it goes into this tank, it will now come through here, and it will start to fill the rest of the tanks, because it'll come through the check valve, but it's not going to go anywhere because there's water coming up. So the tanks are basically all connected this way. And so that's how we have essentially 18,000 liters in one place. And these other valves here are just auxiliary. This is a 1-inch fire hose in case I wanted to attack a fire in this area. Just a 3/4 hose bib. And then this is just an auxiliary that I can put another Prime 100 line into or something like that if I want to at a later date. And that's essentially how it all works. If you guys found that video helpful and you're not subscribed to the channel, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and share the videos with your friends. And if you want to see all the detailed content that I'm making on my off-grid homestead, I've been on this property almost a year now, and we're developing a as off-grid as we can property, food, water, energy, shelter. That's the motivation as we move into this sort of medical apartheid system. I don't want to be playing that game, so we're living off-grid and preparing for the worst, and we're hoping for the best. But if you want to see all of this stuff that I'm doing, I'm documenting every single thing I do on this farm. That's all posted exclusively at fromthefield.tv, and that's where I've been posting 99% of my content for the last number of years now, and we have over 2,000 videos up there now that are all highly detailed, very specific, and most of them are very long form, which is a different strategy than on YouTube here. So check that out if you want to see more stuff there. Hope to see you guys in the next video.